Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. I am Jonathan Hodge, and with me, as always, is Josh Melching. We've got a great episode this week, but I give a lot of people shout outs. And Josh, listen, just kind of roll with me here. I want to give a shout out to Mama Hodge. She had a rough week, and I just want to make sure, Mama, if you watch this or if you hear this, I love you. We appreciate everything you do, and we can't wait to get out there and wrap our arms around you. But I love you, Mama. So back to the show.
Big shout out.
Yeah, big shout out to Mama Hodge. But let's talk about this week. We got a big show. We got Mike and Rucking Realty. But who would you say the sponsor is this week, Josh?
Man, I actually got told today that we were compared to the 95 Chicago Bulls. I mean, we're Pippen and Jordan. Obviously, I'm Jordan. You're Pippen. But
see,
I mean, dude, it's the people are throwing it at us like this is who we are now. This is who we are.
Like
we're going to the championship. You know what I mean?
I'd rather be a Rodman at this point.
You're not a Rodman, but I mean, you're
so
a solid
cool, dude.
Pippen.
Okay. I'll take it. I'll take it.
He's got a ring hair to be Rodman, dude.
He got a ring, dude. All right. So it's kind of manifesting into like this week is Rucking Realty's week. Go with that data. What do you got for the sponsor?
This episode's brought to you by Rucking Realty Group, a team that understands service, sacrifice, and what the word home truly means. Founded by Marine combat veteran Mike Evans and his wife Natalie, they don't just help families buy and sell houses. They walk beside people during some of the biggest transitions of their lives. They know that moving isn't just paperwork and keys, it's stability, safety, and a place where healing and new chapters begin. Their heart for veterans, first responders, and hardworking families is exactly why they stand with the Outreach Project. If you want a team that leads with integrity, grit, and genuinely care, Rucking Realty Group is who you call.
And as always, special thanks to our sponsors, man. Without the help and support from the sponsors, we wouldn't be as effective as we are right now. It's
100%.
It's crazy to think about how much just operating costs that these guys are helping us with to make sure that we can deliver content to everyone. But this week's episode, we've got Mike and Natalie. They are from Rucking Realty. We also got a shout out to Luke. Luke pops in there. I think he won Principals Award. We've got an award winner on the show, and that's not a lie. He pops in and out of the show just to say hello. But listen, the relationship that you have with Mike is one that we talk about in the show, obviously, but it's also one of those ones that we've kind of seen start to kind of rear its head every time we have a show. It's this network, and it's not just from Texas. I know it's we're throwing Texas out of there a lot, but I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've sat down in this very chair and heard what an opportunity to go on a adventure or to just connect with one of these nonprofits, and then boom, I mean, a relationship that is solid. And I mean, people call on each other. It seems like everybody's got each other's back. But tell me about Mike and where you guys met and kind of just the quick elevator pitch on these guys so we can get it kicked off.
Yeah, man, I actually met Mike Evans a few years ago at an event with Hometown Hero Outdoors and have been friends ever since. He was just getting into real estate. I was switching over into doing the flags and stuff that I'm doing now. But man, he's been a mentor to me. We're always bouncing ideas off of each other, helping each other out, promoting each other. Now they're a sponsor to the show. They've, gone through struggles on their own. Now they're giving back. Like it's just amazing to see people succeeding and driving each other. And, they're big supporters of ours. They're big supporters of the flags that I've been doing. They're big supporters of the nonprofit space in general too, and helping other veterans and people that are struggling too. So just some amazing people, man, all around.
Yeah. We're going to kick Rucking Realty Week off with a quick look at what these guys do. And then we're going to get it kicked right back over to you, Josh, and we're going to open up that interview. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Welcome to episode 10 of the Outreach Project podcast. We have an amazing couple guests in the studio, as well as my co-host, Hodge. Hodge, what'd you think?
Dude, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like we're about to tip into the danger zone. We're kind of the goose and maverick of podcasting. So you get where we're going. We got Mike and the missus on here from Rucking Realty. If anybody wants to buy a house, these guys down there, listen, this guy, I seen him operating a chainsaw for one of his customers. So like, I'm going to tell you right now, this guy will do anything to get you in a house. So I'm excited to hear that story. I'm excited to hear where you guys came from, what your beautiful family setup is down there in San Antonio. But Josh, let's kick it off and let's get it out to the people.
Yes, we have, without further ado, we have Mike and Natalie Evans, co-owners of, founders of Rucking Realty Group, entrepreneur, veteran, husband, wife, mother, father, all around great human beings. Truly have been great friends of mine. So, yeah, go ahead and introduce yourselves. If you guys want to tell us a little bit about yourselves, and we'll kick this thing off.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having us on, guys. This is awesome. We're just we love watching you guys, seeing what you do. Like I said, well, Mike Evans here, Marine Corps veteran. My wonderful wife Natalie here. Anything you want to say, baby?
Yeah, we're excited to be a part of this and support you guys too, and talk a little bit about our partnership and what we're doing and working on in San Antonio, and helping out the community in whatever way that we can. Our veterans, our first-time home buyers, the spectrum kind of goes pretty wide with us. So we're excited to talk about it.
Heck yeah. No, I met Mike at an event with Hometown Hero Outdoors out at Harris Ranch. I think that was the first time we met, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And I was helping out and been friends ever since. Super motivated, super, like I'll give him a call, he's motivating me, and back and forth. But man, we were talking a little bit before we came on about your military service. Go ahead and hit on kind of just maybe the Marine Corps aspect a little bit coming in.
Sure. Yeah. I kind of made a decision to join when I was 17. I'd signed up as soon as I turned 17. The recruiter was at my house, and I'm trying to recruit other kids at school. But got a long line of family, military. My dad was in the Marine Corps. My grandfather, he was in the Army. He retired lieutenant colonel. One of my favorite uncles, man, he did 30 years in the Marine Corps. So as soon as I turned 18, I think it was a month after I graduated high school, I was off. And here we are. But I just did 4 years in infantry, did a couple pumps overseas, a couple combat deployments. But after that, got out and kind of just bounced around.
Very nice. Come in and we'll kind of dive into the military service a little bit deeper. But man, one kind of question I want to hit you guys with today versus when you got out of the military. But what does success look like for you guys? Where you're at today, the military is a little bit behind you now. In your new, since I've known you, you got into real estate. Now you and your wife are both into real estate. Now you're moving and shaking. And like, what does success look like for you guys? I know you guys have a, whiteboard with some good goals on it and all that good stuff, but you have any big picture kind of what success looks like for you guys?
Man, I mean, success for me is helping other people succeed. When we got someone that comes to us that's, doesn't know anything about the process, and then they go from knowing nothing to, here's the keys to your new home. And it just feels like we've climbed a mountain together. And it's just really cool. There's a lot of hurdles and obstacles along the way, but, seeing them happy and setting them up for success in their life, that's kind of what it looks like or feels like to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for us coming at very different strengths and our roles in our business and partnership, it's really fun to be able to apply those into all these very unique situations in real estate, and a lot of very heavy emotional times in people's lives where things are changing in a big way for them. And so being a part of that and being able to help them get to a finish line, whatever that looks like for them, has been really a rewarding process for, I think, both of us in the end of it.
Yeah, so you said house is stressful.
The rewarding side you mentioned, Ms. Natalie, but what are we talking about with the most challenging parts when it comes to being in business with the husband and wife duo? Is it what challenges does that bring? Because hold on, let me just make sure. Robin, can you hear me? because my wife heard me talking about this right now. She'd come in here and she'd karate chop me right in the face. So I had to make
Have
sure
her
she
come in
wasn't
there, man.
listening.
We'd love to see the karate chop happen.
Yeah.
Just wait till we're
I
about.
wish you
So
would. I'd like to see her give that karate chop.
Yeah.
She's never gonna do it, Josh.
What do you gotta say?
So what
We're
do
still
you
enjoying
think, Miss Natalie? What's the most challenging part of it?
I would say for me, just in a personal perspective, this is a very different, um, position that personally, I don't think that I would do real estate if I didn't have Mike with me as my business partner. He is a very well-rounded realtor that is very knowledgeable in a lot of aspects and as far as negotiations and talking to people, and these are things that I'm still trying to work on personally. And so I think just trying to bring out those that confidence in certain areas of this business has been kind of a challenge, but it hasn't taken long. I mean, we are a really solid unit. We've always worked really closely together, and people kind of laugh at us. They're like, "How do you spend so much time with your spouse like that?" And I'm like, "Well, isn't that why you marry someone, so that you could potentially work with them?" Or I don't know. So we don't have any. We're just a very cohesive unit, and we kind of have this really interesting way of like reading each other before the other one speaks, like kind of knowing what the person's thinking, between the two of us, and that's been super helpful for our business and just working as a team.
And I know Hodge kind of cracked on it, showing up with like the chainsaw and stuff, but I've bought and sold a couple houses going through my time in the military and getting to San Antonio and finding people that are like real down home. It's like if you're buying a car, like, if they actually care, or they're like just trying to sell you a car, right? They just want to make some money. But every time, and even from before, because when I met Mike at Harris Ranch, he hadn't finished his real estate stuff yet. So his focus was never about, like yours was never about selling houses. It was like, literally, I get to help people do this, hit this huge milestone for themselves. And to me, it's just cool to see, somebody that actually gives a shit about people that, like that really shows. And to me, it's super apparent. There's not a lot of people that are going to show up and do concrete and like, actually help you get through the process, and not kind of abandon you. But with your military background, I know you guys have moved a couple times too, correct? Throughout the years. How long have you guys been together?
10. August is marked 10 years for us.
Mm-hmm.
But 13 together.
Nice. Congrats on the 10.
Thank you.
How many times have
you
you guys moved? How many times have you guys moved in that time?
Yeah, so we started in Virginia, then I moved her out to Montana, and within Montana we moved, I want to say 3 times, and then we moved down here in 2018 to San Antonio. My brother got stationed here. He was MTI here at Lackland, and from there, that was 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we lived in San Antonio near Medina, the Medina base there, and then 4 years ago moved out here. So we've done quite a few moves together for sure.
Yeah. So again, like having somebody that understands, especially a military city, USA, the process, the PCSing, all that good stuff, really, really does help out. And, not only there's a bunch of aspects of really why I wanted you to come on, and I was talking to Hodge about it, and it's you're kind of like the all around guest for us, right? So like you're an entrepreneur, you're a dad, you're a veteran, like all these things, and you guys, having your whole unit as an actual entrepreneur power couple, right? Which is really cool. You're also a sponsor to the show, so to me, it's like we couldn't be more appreciative of everything that you do. And oddly enough, a lot of our sponsors right now, all of our sponsors right now are all veteran entrepreneurs, which is super cool to have,
It's amazing to see that flow of support that comes from this side of the table, especially from a business we're kicking off, and then we're getting that support. You would think it would be the complete opposite. You'd think that the veteran owned stuff would be like a little dog eat dog, but man, I can't tell you how many companies that we've partnered with or talked to or we see every day. And man, it's amazing to get that kind of support from especially you and Miss Natalie. It's awesome, and we really appreciate that support.
Oh,
Yeah.
heck yeah, man. You guys are doing great things. It's like when we first met, Josh, you were telling me all the stuff that you were looking at doing, and I'm watching you here over the last few years, just chasing those dreams, crushing them, and doing bigger and better things. And it's just like, man, this is, you want to attach yourself to people, that are going forward and doing good things. What do they say? It's you're the sum total of the five most people you hang out with.
Yep.
If I mean, there's so many little, things you can go off that, but it's real cool what you guys are doing, man. It's big help, and who better to help a veteran than another veteran?
Right. Well, we appreciate it. And man, any way that we can help you guys from now, I mean, until forever, we're always going to do it. I guess kind of going back to your military stuff, man. You're pretty much a leader to me, like I think we kind of mentor each other. But what did your time in the Marine Corps do to make you kind of the leader, kind of put you where you are today, or did that do that?
Man, I mean, it grew you up real quick. Like I said, I joined when I was 17. At 18, I was already overseas. 2000 into 2005, 2006. It was still pretty rowdy over there, so yeah, that'll grow a guy up real quick. And I just think going through some tough times, it really helps to get you on your toes. And I don't know, there's a lot that you can unpack with that, but
Yeah.
um, yeah.
So what do you kind of lean into now? And I know we met in the hunting space. I kind of always gravitate back towards it, but what else kind of makes you who you are? I know you got some good hunts in. I know that, but if you want to
Yeah.
hit on any of those, but
No, man. I mean, hey, I'm always up to go hunting, man. That's like my main passion, and I'm kind of pursuing like that wild game or whatever it is. It's like with real estate. I got we're working with a client, and their target is this home. They tell us what they're wanting, where they want to be. Like we're on a hunt for this perfect place for them. Um, but I don't know. I kind of lost track there.
Well, what drew you towards real estate? I guess that's, when I met you, you were already I think you were already working on the real estate license stuff. I don't think
Yeah.
you weren't done with it, but what drew you to that? Like, why?
Yeah, man. I had a buddy when I got out in '09. I went and helped a buddy of mine install like the pylons on the beach, like in North Carolina, and that was a rough job, man. I love the hard work, hard labor work. And then he got into building homes, and I went up to Virginia, where my family had moved to, and he's building homes, and he's trying to get me to come back down, and he's like, dude, you need to get into real estate, help me out, sell these homes. I'll build them, you sell them. And I'm like, man, I don't want to wear a suit and tie, dude. That's not me. So I went to school. Um, Figured school wasn't for me. I went out to North Dakota, worked the oil fields for a little while, then moved to Montana, got into landscaping, and I carried that down here with me in Texas. But man, I honestly, I threw my back out, and I was just at a spot where I wasn't working for a couple of years, and it was just the back pain was bothering me, all this stuff, and I just thought, man, I gotta do something different. Real estate was kind of always in the back of my mind whenever my buddy was telling me that. And then a lady who I was property management for up in Montana, she was like an international realtor, man. She has done so many great things. I could talk about her a lot and her accolades and everything, but it was kind of being where she was at, like taking care of her, 20 acres, immaculate place. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And she was doing that. So whenever that happened, I kind of went into a funk, for a little bit. And I just, I started praying. I was like, God, I need some help here. I don't know what my purpose is right now. I don't know what to do. So I told Natalie, I was like, I'm going to go to the garage. I'm going to pick up some weights and just, start at least trying to get myself better. And then it just hit me one day. you know what? That's your time, dude. Get into real estate, man. And so that was about the time when we met. So that's really why I got into it. I just, couldn't work with my back too much anymore, not at least for a long period of time. So I'm glad I did. I get to help a lot of people out through tough
Yeah,
transactions.
and you fit, like I think you're a really good fit. Not probably, like if you were compared to like somebody who wasn't prior military in San Antonio that's a realtor, you probably don't fit the mold, which is probably upsetting to them because there's not a lot of people that I know that I've ever dealt with that are like, let me go pick up this wheelbarrow and throw it in my truck and go like do all these things for somebody to make something happen. They just don't do it that I've ever seen. But that has to be, now that I think about it, that has to be really upsetting for other realtors that you're willing to do that. But well, Natalie, I guess for
Showing houses
you,
with shorts and t-shirts.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy,
yeah.
go ahead.
Natalie, for you, through the transitions, as far as like from military to Montana to moving, what is your thought process, when he kind of got into real estate and that kind of stuff? Or is it something that you were in favor of or not, or?
Yeah. Yeah. I was excited because he was excited. Because there was a time when our life was a very much survival mode, maintenance, just do what we can when we can. I worked in HR for many years, and then when COVID came around, I had the opportunity to just be at home with Luke, and that's what we made it work. When he showed this like incredible energy for getting his license, just kind of out of nowhere, I was just so happy that he was excited about it and motivated and wanting to do this. And so um, we never really had the thought of me getting my license until a little bit later. But I've told people, and I've told him, he's been working towards this job his whole life. Like he is, um, you know, people around him and in our circle were so excited that he started this journey because they knew he was going to be successful. And there were some growing pains, but it didn't take long. It was one of those things that it just fit, and he was like so gung ho about it. And so then the talk started to come where, what if I join you, or how do we make this work? And that's where kind of the idea started. Like, this is really working. How can we maximize what we can do for people and how we can help? And so, but going back to where you're talking about him, like actually getting hands on with a lot of these properties, this man will go out and do work that other people are kind of like, well, why are you doing that? You don't have to do that. Like, have them hire somebody. He's like, because I know that I'm going to do it right, and I want to get it done today. I don't want it tomorrow. Like, so he's doing this stuff uh, just to make sure that these people get to the finish line. And I think that's so admirable. And I think, I take note of that. I'm like, wow, that's pretty inspiring to see that he's willing to do a lot of this stuff that people won't do.
Yeah, when you want the results, and you're willing to put in the work, it shows.
For
And,
sure.
all the videos that you guys post of like actually doing work, get your hands dirty out there cutting with a chainsaw, like loading up stuff for people and moving, man, that's it really does speak volumes, and it makes it easy for us, as a show with you as our sponsor, to be like, if I'm moving, they're selling my house. Like that is who it's going to be, because I know they care. Like I know, one, they're not going to sugarcoat anything. Two, they actually give a shit, which is super hard to find nowadays. Well, I know you guys have one son, Luke. How has he, kind of drove your, like the business and the entrepreneurship and all that stuff? Does he kind of keep you level? Does he, how does he kind of throw things into perspective for you?
Man, he's a cool guy, man. That dude is wild, man. He loves climbing trees, riding his little dirt bike around. But man, he'll go hop in the car with us. It's nothing for him to hop in the car with us and go show houses all day. And it's cool to see him, you know, I remember the first time I took him with us, we had some out of state buyers, retired military, and they have become real close family friends of ours now. but it was funny watching. I think we did, I don't know, maybe 7 homes that first day with them. They flew in, and he goes into a home and he's like, no, this ain't it. This ain't it. You know, I don't know if he's picking up like,
You're like,
their
shh, be
vibe.
quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's cool, man. He has fun with it. You know, he motivates us. You know, he's part of my why.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just yeah. I mean, him being my why is kind of a
Mhm.
good thing.
Yeah.
Adding to that.
He brings a lot of excitement to not only our job, but just allows us, and I think for him too, just seeing our partnership and you know, knowing that we're in this together, he takes a lot from that, and it's been a huge adjustment for him too, because for a long time, you know, we would just pick up on the weekends and go to the beach or go fishing or do whatever, and that's not always the case now. But you know, he's 7.5, and I think, is seeing the reward of the hard work that we put in, and it's been fun to have him kind of see us and be proud of us in that too.
Don't you think that that type of an example though for Luke is something that it's going to drive that work ethic into him, and seeing like what
Mhm.
mom and dad are out there crushing it, and he's there. It's firsthand. He's in the car. He's riding. I think that's a
Mhm.
unique thing that a lot of people don't take into consideration, especially when a mom and dad are business partners and they're in it
Mhm.
together. But from just the military side of things, it's really difficult for just the military kids to go from place to place to place. So, it sounds like Luke's getting a taste of what it's like to either have mom and dad working through it or always be moving and shaking. But I guarantee, like when it gets to him for Luke to do whatever he is going to do, boom,
Mhm.
he's going to fall into place, and it's just going to happen for him. I think
Yeah.
it's. Don't you think it's that example that you guys are setting that's most important for him moving forward?
Yeah, I think so. You know, hard work. I mean, hard work. You know, teaching them respect. You know how to talk to others. You know, the guy. You can have a real good conversation with that guy. He's real polite. You know, he won a principals award last year, but just a good kid. I think that's important for him moving forward. And
Mhm.
it's
Congrats,
neat.
Luke. Congrats. If you're watching this,
Heck yeah.
good job on that. Yeah, yeah.
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 Um, kind of shifting gears a little bit, but I know we met with one of the nonprofits. What kind of drew you to that space? I didn't know what you had done prior to that. But how did you even get involved with any of the nonprofits? Do you
Yeah,
remember?
good question. I mean, when we lived in Montana, you know, there was 30 million acres of public land. You know, I could go out in the woods for a week and not see a soul and just be out there in it.
Hmm.
And when we moved down here to Texas, I'm like, all right, man, Texas is huge. Let's go hunting, you know? And I'm starting to look around and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. What's going on here? So I come to find out 97% of Texas is bought
Yeah.
up, and there's
Yeah.
30 million people and 1 million acres of public land. So the numbers are totally reversed. And there goes Momo. That's another veteran nonprofit dog right there. That's a whole nother topic. But yeah, I mean, I was looking for a place to hunt, and someone said, "Dude, you need to, reach out to some veteran nonprofits out here." And I'm like, what is that?" And I'm like, I didn't really know this world existed. And so I started getting on Facebook, like veteran hunting opportunities in Texas, and one had popped up. And Rally Point Outdoors. I remember I saw this ad on Facebook, and it was like, "Hey, odd ad hunt out in West Texas opportunity. Just show that you can shoot hit a paper plate, at 500 yards. Just give us a 3-inch shot group." And I saw the post was like 2 weeks. It had already been sitting there 2 weeks. So I reached out. I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm sure this opportunity is already. You probably have your stack that's already going out there." I said, "But if somebody bails or whatever opportunity comes up, let me know." And he's like, "Call me. Here's my number." And I'm like, "Sure." He's like, "Dude, like, man, like nobody's done anything yet." I said, "Are you serious, dude?" I said, "I'll go to the range this weekend, man." And
500 yards is why.
yeah,
That's
you know,
exactly why.
so I did. So I went out, sent him a nice video, and he's like, "Dude, like you're the first person to do this." He's like, "Can I put this video you sent me?" Because I had me on the ground. I had a camera down at the end. someone videoing me, and it was a cool little video we put together.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, dude, like, you're the first one to do this. Yeah, dude, you got the spot for sure, man. And then out of nowhere, all these people started chiming in, and then it worked out. So I ended up going out to West Texas, and it's funny because nobody else showed up, and I'm out there on this ranch.
Perfect.
And I'm like, I get to the campsite, I'm like, these guys
All
are
of it
supposed
for
to be here
yourself.
cooking for me. Yeah. And so I'm like, look, nobody's here, dude. I said, I think the Aoudad are going to be here. I'm looking at the map, studying it. I drive like 20 miles back on this ranch. It took me like 2.5 hours to get there, back to the backside where I thought they were going to be. And it was cool. I saw them, like the next day. I was sleeping on the ground, man, just having a good time by myself. But yeah, that's kind of my start, with the veteran nonprofits.
In the nonprofit space.
Yeah.
Why do you think the outdoors and like the hunting space kind of resonates with you?
Man, it brings me peace. I mean, when we were out and about, and I grew up hunting and fishing as a kid, but being in the military, like we go places, it's like a big adventure. We got a bunch of knuckleheads, crammed in a vehicle, and we're going out and doing wild, crazy things. And you might be out in the desert or the jungle or wherever you might be, and you're with this group of guys in some terrible situations out in the woods, or in the desert or whatever it might be, and you're getting through this stuff together. Whether it's you're stalking this animal, trying to find this target, and the rain, hail, snow, whatever it might be, sunshine, you're just out there in it. And coming back here, it's, if you get to do it with other veterans, it's fun, the camaraderie part. But I mean, you're on a mission, but it's there's a piece about it that brings that outdoor element, that trying to track something down together. It's really cool.
I feel like it's like the closest thing you can get to a mission without being downrange. Like, because you have, not everybody shoots 500 yards. I'll tell you that. I was shooting 400 last weekend, and in San Antonio, there's not even a lot of places you can go do that, which is crazy to me. But yeah, I think the preparation, the setup, like, the getting all the gear ready. I feel like I'm getting ready to go downrange. Like, so I love it too. That's why I like to hear what other people think. And Hodge is getting there. Hodge is he's gonna be going on something.
Yeah. So I just retired on December 19th of last year. So it was like, this is a whole new world for me. Like, I get to grow facial hair. I don't have to, like, the only people that tells me what to do is my wife, which she's been doing that for quite a while now, but I get to do it with facial hair. So it's okay. It's not terrible.
Yeah. Heck yeah, buddy. So let's get something planned, man. We need to go chase something down.
So episode 7, I believe, apparently me and Dustin, we're going to go, and we're pretty much going to take out enough squirrels down in Texas that you guys won't have any conservation efforts for down there. But we talked about murking some
we need
squirrels
to do hogs.
and stuff like that.
Hogs
man. Yeah. I had a blast. So I was in San Antonio for 15 months. They sent me from Vegas to San Antonio. I stayed there 15 months, turned around and came right back to Vegas. And the only thing I got to hunt was the hogs. That's it. And that was great because you could just blast them and let them lie. And I'm like, man, these things are like, they look at them like they're rats down here. They just want them off. They want them dead. So I had a great time taking the guys out to the field and, maybe going to do a little route recon and just blasting a pig right in the face. But it was pretty good. It was pretty fun. Yeah, we definitely got to get something going.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. And I guess another answer to that question, Josh, with Rally Point Outdoors. So after I went and did that hunt with them, I'm like, man, like, is there's something I can help you with, man? He's like, yeah, like we have this lease out in South Texas, not where, where this is at. I'm like, shoot, that's an hour and a half away from my house, man. And, Matt Wellman, he's out in Tennessee, he was still in the military at the time. And he's like, man, if you want to help guide, veterans on some hogs out there, man, dude, I'd love to do it, man. Let me know, like, what do I got to do? And so I started doing that, and, met some other great veterans that I'm still friends with today. But that was maybe like about 6 years ago, I started doing that. We still talk, stay in touch, but got a lot of vets out doing that as well. Super fun and rewarding for sure.
Yeah, it's like the chain reaction, like that Hodge and I have already seen, like the chain reaction of people getting involved with organizations, that one thing leads to another. I just got back. There he is. I
He's
just
Hey,
like,
got
congrats on
"Can
that
I
principal
say
award,
hi?"
dude. Congrats.
He's like, "Can I say hi?" I'm like, "Yeah, come say hi."
Sorry,
uh,
Charlie. Go ahead.
no, the
That was
chain
good.
reaction of going, like getting involved with the nonprofits or any of the resources in general, not just the nonprofit space, but I just got back from Houston yesterday from somebody that we had on the show. We didn't know Ariel Laura before she came on with the Warriors Refuge, signed up on our website, came on the show, and then invited us down to Houston to go basically talk about what we're doing with the outreach project to congressmen and government officials down in Houston yesterday. So, like I can't stress enough with not just what we're doing and because we're doing it, but I really wish I could make everybody get involved in some way, shape, or form so they could see it. You know what I mean? And it's not just on the taking aspect. And a lot of times we've hit on the hunting space because we all like to hunt. That just kind of happens to be our thing. But there's so many aspects and so many different things that you can get involved in just to find that tribe.
Yep.
Then it's crazy. So like Natalie, for you, I guess, seeing Mike get to go, go hunt Outad, like, do you see a difference? Like, and I know you're involved with the nonprofit stuff too now. And we'll get to that in a minute, but do you see the difference, like him coming and going, getting a break from life in when he comes back?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I want to be as big of an advocate for these programs as he is, because I know the quality and just the energy and the motivation comes back after a trip like that. And he's been so blessed to have quite a few of those, and they are adventures. And I mean, he always comes back talking about the people he met and just sharing these really cool stories with me and with Luke. And sometimes we can join him, which is always, a great opportunity too. But yes, his energy shifts, everything about how he carries himself shifts back to that, that mindset that I just love about him, and his dedication kind of comes back after some time with you
Yeah.
guys. Yeah. Mhm.
The one thing that I think of, and I see it in you guys just from the outside, but I don't have kids, right? I'm not married, no kids, but seeing somebody that's an example, like my dad was a good example for me, like hunted, like doing all the man stuff, right? And nowadays I think a lot of that kind of gets lost. There's a lot of people that are still trying to keep it alive, but I think you guys are a good example of like setting that real example, like not just buying somebody's stuff, and be like, here, go play Xbox for a while. Like, get over there, like showing them from your own self, like Mike going on adventures. Like if my dad's out adventuring, I'm going to think my dad's the coolest guy on the planet forever.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like coming back from a hunt out in the mountains, shooting, what was that Outad you shot? Way far.
Man, that was fun. How far? It was,
Yeah. How far was that one?
we ranged him at 870
Yeah.
yards.
Hodge, I got to show you this shot. He videotaped the whole thing to where you can see the trail from the bullet
Mhm.
hit him. Dude, it was
That was
awesome.
cool.
And that's
But
the trip that really kind of kicked off Rucking Realty Group. I mean, that, that is where it was a really incredible opportunity for him to sit with this thought of what could we do with this
Yeah.
business. And this was, last year. Was it 2 year? I don't even remember what
Yeah.
time
It was,
right now.
2 Octobers ago. But yeah, we had just got done, taking care of mine. And there were some other really cool veterans out there on that trip as well. Maybe I can throw Everly Stock.
yeah, throw him out there, dude.
Yeah, Everly Stock, and then Marty Jackson with Veterans Creed.
I love the
Outdoors.
Everly Stock guys. We need to tag them in this and
Yeah.
I know,
blow those dudes
phenomenal
up,
guys, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, swapping some stories, up on the top of the mountain there. Man, it was really cool, man. Those moments like that, you can just be vulnerable. I mean, after you spend a few days with someone, you get to know them a little bit, and then share some stories, open up. And then it just clicked to me. I was like, man, Rucking Realty Group. It just, the light bulb went off. I'm like, man, here we are, like doing this crazy, like hiking, like we're spotting, stalking these animals,
Yeah,
and we're
it's
going up
crazy.
this crazy mountain. The terrain is rough, and here we are. It's like, man, it's backs hurt and this and that, but we're all in it together. And then I was just like, man, that's like the home buying process. I'm like, dude, there's so many obstacles along the way. I'm like, it's like climbing a mountain, we're all in it together, and let's get it. Like, let me throw that weight on my back. Let me get you up this mountain. I know you're struggling here. You're stressing out there. Stop stressing. This is supposed to be fun. Let's have some fun. Let me carry that weight for you. We're going to get up there. It's going to happen. So that's kind of where.
That's crazy. That's the model of how you interact with, like, that's such a cool, unique way. Cause I mean, most people on the outside are just like, oh, this good. Yeah, obviously he's prior military. He carried a ruck. He just called it Rucking Realty. But if someone listened to this episode right now, they could understand, one, where the idea came from and how you and your family, literally your entire family, will shoulder the load while you get them up to the top of that home buying mountain and be mission complete. That's crazy.
Yeah.
When I take a look and hear these stories, especially from like, me and Josh starting the outreach project, one of my number one, like I told Josh, I was like, dude, just let me listen. I just want to hear, let me watch the story take place. And this is what I find unique about the nonprofit world is the story that you tell. It kind of binds a relationship with the next person, and next thing you know, like we've been living in realistically, if there's one or two shows that have taken place on the podcast, but mainly from one network has just been jumping and jumping and jumping. This person tells us, and then next thing you know, we're talking, and it's wild. Just like Josh said, episode 3 with Warrior Refuge. Josh, that's the first like full circle moment that we ended up. Now Josh is out there shaking hands with politicians and stuff. But I think the relationships that get binded off of those types of adventures, that's the most interesting part of it all. I mean, to sit there and listen to you guys tell these stories, it's just so unique of how war's in. The next thing you know, it's just wild, man. It's wild to see how everything just kind of works together.
Yeah.
And if you kind of sit, if you sit and actually think about this stuff, like you could just as easily do nothing, right? Like you could have not gone out in the garage, not started getting after it, found a job, just doing whatever you do, and done none of this just as easy. But man, the connections, like there's a million connections that, like even going into Veterans Creed Outdoors and Dustin and your dog, and like there's a network of, like, once you're kind of in it and you start to see it, it's so much more than just a list of nonprofits that do this one thing. It's one person knows another, and it's, even talking about the Eberly stock guys. I mean, I love those guys. We stopped by there and we went up to Idaho, and Marty took us up there and introduced us to them. And Glenn Eberly, for anybody that doesn't know this listening, was an Olympian, and the company, the Eberly Stock Company, has the rings for the Eberly Stock logo. That's the Olympic rings, is where that came from. And he was a shooter, and he has a patent on the actual ruck that has the scabbard in it. But standing there talking to those guys, the way they relate to us, and they're big supporters of the military as well. A lot of those guys are prior military. Some of those guys are prior military, but they support the nonprofit space too, because they see what it does, and I think they probably gave you the rucks for that actual trip, right? And and I mean, to hear them talk about the support and where they want to go moving forward and how motivated they are, like, I haven't sat with them on a mountaintop. I sat with them in their office before we went and climbed a mountain on our own. But man, you talk about a motivated group of dudes. They're flying in helicopters to the top of mountains, doing long range shooting with GBRS dudes coming down. Like, it's mind blowing, the cool experiences that you can have if you want to. If you want to go explore what we're talking about, I mean, you could take one organization, it could change your entire perspective of the world, just like it did for Tyler in our last episode. But man, it's just cool to see it. And not just taking on the, like the hunt side or whatever, but you guys yourselves now that, and Mike, we've talked about it on a personal level, but, going through the struggles, like just like you guys did, where a lot of people come out of the military still struggling too. But now you guys are a power couple. You're doing real estate. You're supporting. You're sponsored our show. Like, we didn't even have a show before. Sponsoring our show. Last year we were at a banquet together. You sponsored the table. Like, it's so cool to see people that have such a giving heart to give back. Like, what makes you want to do what you do now, being on kind of that side of it? I mean, not taken from the nonprofits, but getting to do the things. Now you're basically giving other people the opportunity to go do the things, right?
Yeah. And it's almost like that, pay it forward. Like, I had an opportunity and I went and seized it, and it's like, wow, this is so cool. I know when I get back home, I have a whole fresh, like, my mind is like refreshed. I just hit the reset button out there. Like, man, there's somebody else needs this. Like, how can I help? Then I started, guiding a little bit, getting into that and becoming best friends with some of the guys, that I guided. And I was thinking about Marty too, because he was one of the guys you had to ask him. Well, I'll just tell it too, but took him out pig hunting. And
he's like, stop talking about me on your show. Like, Marty comes up like every episode.
It's funny, right? So I'll just
he listens though, so that's okay.
Oh, he'll be listening. He'll laugh too. Yeah. So that pig, his pig, man. He's like, man, give me a backup shot on this pig. I'm like, man, Marty, it's like 60 yards away. You don't need a backup shot, dude. I'll just shoot when I shoot, man. Like, you got night vision on your stuff. Cause I was like, hey, take mine. I got night vision, man. I want to use my rifle. I'm like, all right, cool. So, he shoots, I shoot. Split second after, we roll the video camera back on my thing. This is like while we're out there. And he's like, dude, you shot that pig. I was like, no, dude, you got it, man. Congrats, dude. Good job, man. He's like, roll that tape back.
Shoot that pig.
Then,
now he's all mad about it.
It's like, cow. Like, that's how it was real quick. He's like, that first round hit the dirt, man. You put it right behind the ear. I was like, it was you, dude. So we joke about that to this day. But man, just the moments like that, like when you go on something, a fishing trip, hunting trip, whatever it might be, golfing or something, you go home and you feel like you just got back from a mission with your boys and you're just jazzed, man, and we want to be able to do that. It's like what you guys are doing. It's huge. It's going to be, I mean, it's already awesome bringing, people together and everything. We want to be a part of that. We want, other warriors to go home and, have an experience and go home to their families remotivated, rejuvenated, with purpose. And then, have it on their heart that who can I help? If everyone helped each other out, man, be a much better world.
So I got a question for all of you. I mean, maybe I could just kind of sit back and throw this one out there. First, did Marty turn and look at you as soon as the round went off and was like, why did you shoot my pig? That's the first question. Second question is, realistically, between all the stories that I've heard on this show and from what you and Josh just got finished talking about, can you really wrap your mind around? I mean, it seems like everyone's really quick to jump on and say what nonprofits they're not good at. They miss this or they charge for that and we can't get this. Is there something that nonprofits get right that people don't know? Like, is there something that's happening behind the scenes? And this is for you too, Josh. Like, we keep hearing like these things, but from the realistic side, what is nonprofits doing out there that people don't give them credit for?
I mean, number one, it was dark, so whatever we two, Josh, you want to hit on number two?
Yeah, I mean, it's, to me, as in anything, dude, it's so easy to be cynical, right? Like, it's easy to be like, oh, well, they collect millions of dollars. What do they do? What do they do? And I've actually had this conversation with people, with organizations. I flew up to Michigan last year, donated a flag, went to their banquet, saw what they're doing, and then got back, and a guy got on there. Now, mind you, all the people that run this organization are prior military too. Like, these are veterans themselves that are doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They're not getting paid.
Yep.
And some of the guys are from Mogadishu. Some of the guys are straight up from Black Hawk Down that are on the board of this organization. So the keyboard warrior gets on there and he's like, what do you guys do other than collect money for galas? And I about lost it. I try and keep my cool, you know what I mean? Like, but it is so easy to be cynical, and you will have, you'll have bad eggs out there where you'll hear about a nonprofit and the stuff doesn't go right, but there's so much good stuff, right? Like I took our app yesterday and, I was showing people Hodge created the beta version of our app already because he's a genius. So I'm sitting there talking about it, giving out our cards, shaking hands, and being like, this is actually what we're doing. We've consolidated every 501c3 in the United States in one place. And they're just looking at me like I was, had a, like a horn growing out of my forehead or something. And I'm like, no, here it is. And my co-host actually created the app already. So this is the app. You go to Texas, and there's 148,000 nonprofits in Texas. If you can't find something out of 148,000 resources that works for you, maybe you need to adjust what you're looking for. But I just think, yeah, I mean, if you get into a nonprofit,
solution. How about you be the solution to the problem?
Yeah. So that's what I'll say is really that it's so easy to be cynical. Once you get into one organization and go hang out for a weekend, go to an event, see what they're doing, see what they're all about. I haven't had a bad experience, really. Like, really and honestly, like, when you see the good that it does for people, whether you're handing out food at a food bank, you're doing a volunteer event, you're raising money to help other veterans, like, you can't go to one of these galas and see this change somebody's life, like see the videos of what it's doing for people and not walk out of there motivated, no matter what. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people that'll get on social media and be like, oh, I didn't get picked to go hunt. I didn't get picked to go do, and you can throw yourself out to the world and register for a bunch of stuff, man. There's nothing against it. Just know that there are a lot of people out there. In San Antonio, there's like 1 million veterans. You know what I mean? So once, there is people that sign up, you kind of just have to stay in the game, you got to throw yourself out there, but also step in and help too. So there's something to be said where you're in the space, especially hunting like in Texas, for example. I know people hate that we, harp on Texas, but that's currently where I am. But, if you're out on a ranch and you're putting in work every day, most likely at some point there's going to be some old timer that owns the ranch that's be like, hey man, you put in a lot of work out here. I see you running that wheelbarrow. You're, doing cottonseed, you're doing whatever, feeding all summer long, helping us out for nothing. Go get on a hunt, go pick up a rifle and go sit in that stand. You know what I mean? Like, and to me, that's sweat equity. Like you're willing to give back. You're a veteran giving it. I don't really see anything wrong with it, but I think people just got to get involved. Stop being cynical, go get involved, stop complaining, be a little keyboard warrior, and go do something.
And it's like PTSD or the injuries or whatever it is. Like I had a hard time for a little while after I threw my back out, but I kept on just the way I work. It's like if we're digging a hole, I'm gonna dig for 2 or 3 guys, kind of thing. But a lot of times people will just like let this stuff like define them, instead of, man, they don't really see the healing process because they're not allowing themselves or to go on one of these adventures, or they're just stuck in their little way there. So sometimes it takes that nudge from a buddy, like, hey, dude, I signed you up for this, man. We're going. I guess so. But then afterwards, man, it's just that snowball effect of good things that happen. The next thing you know, you see them wanting to do better in life, and then helping out, with these organizations or helping others out. That's kind of
so. So to kind of compound onto this one, when I sit here and I stare at your story, and we see the business growing, especially it's a family business. It really is, like we already discussed. Like Luke's in the back seat, and y'all are going to all these houses. What would you and Natalie say to a young couple out there right now that's maybe on the fence about doing what you're doing? Is there anything that you would kind of pass down? Maybe we should have started it earlier, or there was something that's holding you back. Don't be afraid to throw yourself in there. What lessons learned have you guys had, and how would you bring that to the table?
Yeah, I mean, I just, like my dad always said, if you want something done right, you need to do it yourself. So for someone that's thinking about doing something, whatever it may be, just do it. Nothing venture, nothing gain, but make sure your heart's in it. If you start it and you feel like your heart's not there, then that might not be it for you, or grind a little harder until you can pull that out. But just go for it, you know. Just do it, you know.
Mhm.
What was the
What about you, ma'am? You got anything, ma'am,
Yeah.
for the wife or spouse out there? Because I'm telling you right now, like it's we don't move past the ground, the actual ground commander. Being his ground commander, what would you say about it?
Yeah, I think, you know, in just my own personal experience with this process and going into business with my spouse, and you know, having the confidence that number one, I could, and number two, we would be okay. And just kind of leaning into that and knowing like what's what's the worst that can happen, really. Like we tried it and it sucked, or we tried it and it's getting wildly successful and things are working. Okay, how do we just build from there? Celebrate our wins, but don't get too comfortable and complacent in that. And so you know because when the thought came to my mind, like, what if, I think my mom was the one who said it, like, what if you got your license? And I'm like, I can't get my license. I'm not a, like, I had no thought to become a realtor ever. And then the thought just turned into this, process in my brain of, we could absolutely do this. And it just took a few people to tell me, like, of course you guys can. And believing that and having faith that could potentially be amazing for us, and it has. And so take it from me, who was like, no, I don't think I can, and now I'm doing it and living it and growing every day in this field has been really, really cool to see and experience. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I've thought about it. I've thought about it a couple times, but I'm still on the fence. I'm
Okay.
thinking about it. But man, I was trying to think of what was the event that we went to, Mike? What was that with Damon John? What was that called?
Oh man, was it like Aspire?
Yeah, it was the Aspire tour.
Yeah.
We went
Okay.
and we went and checked that out. But it's cool, man. I thought it was going to be like a whole like Tony Robbins like motivation the whole time, and they had like some people sprinkled in, David Goggins at the end of it. But then it turned into like it was more of a real estate thing than it was a motivational event. So I ended up being like, I'm out. I can't sit here all day and listen to all this. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But no, the reason that I bring that up is like having somebody like you. Like my circle is small nowadays. Like, when I retired, I say like, your circle goes from all these people that and then you have your retirement, and then it's like to the wind. You're like out of sight, out of mind. Your circle gets small, and having people like you guys that are motivated, that are, you're out and doing things, you're figuring out what works, and I think your ability to pivot and be like, hey, this might not be working. Hey, this is a really good event, or this is a good opportunity. And then either it works out or it doesn't. Be like, hey, we need to adjust and figure that out is cool to see on top of the hard work that you guys do. But yeah, man, it's been pretty motivating. But
Yeah.
is there anything that you guys want to hit on? I know there's an event or two coming up that you guys want to get to, but
Yeah, there's always something going on in San Antonio, and we're trying to figure out how to get in front of people so we can help others out. Yeah, we're going to sponsor whole for the Frontline Heroes Outdoors golf tournament that's coming up April 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another one we haven't really we're going to have some meeting with some folks, but it's going to have to do with the Murph. So it's going to be a pretty big deal. So stay tuned for that. We'll be advertising for that. That one's going to be fun.
Yeah, that actually, I don't think I shared this part, but I also teach yoga part-time. I've been doing that for 15 years. And so we're very like, we have a really unique balance, Mike and I. And, people are like, oh, he's the hunter or the tough Marine. And I'm like teaching yoga and just like, whatever. But the studio that I teach at also offers a lot of CrossFit classes. And so it's like the one time of the year that I'll actually participate in the CrossFit class, participating in the Murph. And so that'll be Memorial Day. And so I reached out to them to see if we could, kind of partner with them and, provide, some support, like a cold plunge or food, snacks, like music, whatever we can do from our standpoint, and also participate. Again, the one time a year I will join them. But somehow I do it. I don't know. Every time I'm like, I'm not in the shape for this, and then I just do it. And it's like this really cool collective energy that comes from this group of people that are just incredible. And the purpose of that whole workout really energizes me. But yeah, so that's coming up, and golf and all the things. And so more to come too, hopefully.
Yeah.
So,
And one more, our brokerage,
mm,
BK Real Estate, we're going to be doing a golf tournament July 4th weekend out here too. So, stay tuned to that.
mhm.
That'll be a veteran focus. We're actually going to be donating all the proceeds from that golf tournament will be going to Soldiers Angels. So our brokerage is donating
Nice.
all those proceeds to getting care packages out to servicemen and women overseas that are deployed. So that's pretty cool too.
Because
Well,
we
just
do
let us
still have
know how
people
we can.
deployed too.
Yeah, we do have people deployed. Let us know how we can help you guys. I mean, I know we have our partnership going, but really, like me and Josh, we like to push this kind of stuff. And you'll try, on some of the intros, we'll try to kind of do a roundup where we pull information from previous guests, and then we'll make sure people are updated. But if there's anything, like Josh crushes social media, so we can help push that for you as well. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but Josh is on social, just in case you didn't
Dude,
know
y'all,
it.
Beat it,
y'all are getting
nerd.
it, man. Y'all are getting it. But no, I'll let y'all know as far as that, once we do our tournament there, we're going to have
Yep.
sponsorship opportunities too. So would love to have you guys, maybe sponsor a hole or something, have your booth set up out there and get in front of all these veteran golfers that are coming through there. Just spreading the good word about what you guys are doing and, get them some help, whatever it might be,
Now that you say that, I did sponsor a team for that, for an actual team themselves, not for a whole, but there's a team. It was a lot. It was when we very first started, and they just asked me. I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it. Go ahead." And then, yeah, so we're gonna be doing it too. Heck yeah!
Cool.
You just jogged my memory of that. But
That's good.
That's funny.
yeah, Hodge, what you got, man? Any closing thoughts?
Dude, I really appreciate it when we get to the end of this and I start looking at the whole picture of when we bring guests on. Like I said, towards the middle of the show, is I really appreciate stories. And Mike, I didn't get to meet you, and ma'am, obviously, this is just a great thing to have you rolled into this as well. But, getting to actually meet you guys rather than like seeing the social media posts, I can already tell like this is going to go exactly where you guys want it to go, where you need it to go. And that's the great thing about having that positive relationship you guys got going in your business. We're just excited to follow along. And for you guys on the other end of the camera, if you want to, I'm not joking. I mean, me and Josh, we talked about him literally grabbing a chainsaw, just ripping trees out. Follow them on social media and tell me if you're not entertained. Tell me you would not buy a house from these people. I just appreciate you guys.
You will buy a house.
You will buy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just appreciate you guys coming on and sharing your story and letting us take a little bit of time from me.
No, we appreciate that, man. And like that hard work kind of thing we were helping a veteran out. We were supposed to close this day. A few days prior, the other side wasn't getting the work done that was supposed to be done. And we're like, look, like what's going on? This post, their lease is already done. They need a place to move into. Like what's going on here? Well, our handyman's not going to be able to do this for another month. I'm like, let's roll up the sleeves. Like, hey, you tell the seller, ask them if I can come over with my team and get some stuff done. The next thing you know, we're doing concrete work, we're staining, we're painting, we're doing this and that for the sellers. We're representing the buyer, but our buyer needs to have a house to get into. And we're going to make sure, daggone sure that they're going to get in there. And you got to roll the sleeves up, hey, throw that suit coat to the side and get in the mud if you need to,
We see it. We really appreciate it. I know they do too, but thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Oh, we appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Thank you.
And from me, You guys are most welcome. It was a no-brainer having you guys on. Like I said, you guys are like the full spectrum of the people that we like to have on. You're great people. The transparency from you guys, like, hey, we went from struggling to making it to now we're doing great things. Now you're giving back. You have a great family. Luke's awesome. You guys are awesome. I love having you in my friend circle. I'm always calling, always bouncing ideas, and we motivate each other. And if there's anything that we can do for you guys, we want to make sure we do the most possible. And if we need another episode, we can do that too. But for us here at the Outreach Project Podcast, that's going to do it for episode 10. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys later.
Josh, you know what to do. Get to work, bud.
Let's go! The Outreach